Hey guys, welcome to another Walking Dead action figure review. This time I'm reviewing the Series 4 McFarlane series figures Andrea figure. This is from the TV show, not the comic books, just so you know. And she's a really nice figure, but let's pull her out and take a look. Okay. So there she is in all of her glory, the figure itself, but then she comes with a surfeit of accessories that are rather nice. You got a vest for her, which is held in right now. Got to untie that. Oh yeah. And I do own one of her out of package, but I have another one in package, which is this one. So I decided to review this one since I have all of her accessories right here. And I did have the outer package somewhere, but I have misplaced it because I opened her to take a look at her, then I misplaced it. So, if you want to see what the packaging looks like, here's the Governor's packaging, which is exactly the same, except for it says the Governor up there and shows the alternate stuff. But it's for 13 plus, so if you're a 12-year-old, get away. These aren't for you. And then it says The Walking Dead McFarlane Toys, Series 4, AMC, choking hazard because it has small parts and ball. Not for children. A small ball, so it's not for children. I don't know what the ball is. I guess if you tear off her head, it's considered a ball. And then it says like McFarlane.com, nothing special there. It says photos of action figure prototypes, product specifications subject to change. Please retain packaging for future reference. Yeah. Okay, anyway, now that I think about it, their prototypes did look a lot different from the way they turned out. Let me see if I can get some focus so you guys can see this. It's really hard to tell because they're tiny, but like that Rick looks completely different from the Rick that they ended up with. Carl looks about the same. And Andrea looks slightly different. Let me take a quick look with my bare eyes. Yeah, she looked a lot more like she's got a bunch of makeup on. But anyway, let's pull out the accessories. Ugh, I feel like I'm going to break this one, but something you may notice is this rifle we have gotten with so many figures. I mean, I've got Dale right here, who has the same freaking rifle, and this just came out. This is Series 8 of figures, same rifle. Which, it is a nice rifle, and that Dale did have that same rifle, I believe, so it's believable that he would come with it. It's just, on personal preference, if Dale came with a machine gun instead, I would have been okay with it. If they just gave him a pistol, I would have been okay with it. So, having to reuse the same stuff over and over again just gets so dull, since I own like 3 different versions of those rifles, and then 5 of the rifles in total. It just gets ridiculous. Now I own 6. Okay. So let's go over the accessories first, then we'll go on to sculpt, paint, and then articulation. First off, we have this nice vest for her, which has golden zippers. Let me get some focus in here. Come on, there we go. It's got zippers on the side, and nice wrinkles, very nice fur up here, fur sculpt. And then painted very nicely. Back looks fine. And then let's pop that on her. I think I prefer her with this on because it looks a little bit better than the bare shirt. The bare shirt makes her look, I don't know, a bit skinny. But with this on, she looks about right. Let me pull that over here. It's, for some reason I'm having trouble, but it's usually easier to pull this off and put it on. There we go. Yeah, that looks cool. That's a good accessory, I say. Okay, now next accessory, we've got this pitchfork, which has a sort of gray sculpt to it, no real silver, and then it's got a black wash, and then for the handle it's brown with a black wash over it. Looks very dirty. And then it won't fit into her hands too well because she has really tiny hands. Look at this. See that? And there's the diameter of the pole. That doesn't look right. Let me see if I can stick it in there though. Nope. That's not going to go in. Come on. Nope. So, this accessory right here is not really all that great for her. I usually just stick this in Herschel's hands, have him do some farming. Let me grab my Herschel so I can stick it with him. There you go, Herschel. Go have a fun time with that. Anyway, now the rifle. Here's another problem. Rifle, too big for her hands. See how thick that handle is? That's not going to work. No. Just simply no. So second accessory that doesn't work with her, but this one you can just throw over her shoulder and it looks okay. And if you get it in the right position, it looks okay. Yeah. So there she is with the rifle. And then the pistol is another problem as well. Pistol is too thick for her hand. So basically, right off the bat, every accessory that she comes with kind of doesn't match with her except for the vest. Everything else just doesn't really want to go with her. Doesn't want to go in her hand at all, but her holster down here, which is a really nice holster, it's well sculpted. Many people put this on their Carl figure because I believe Carl has a similar holster to this one. Okay, let me get that. Why do I have paint on my finger? I just don't understand. Okay. And it slips in there very nicely. Very nicely. Get in there, yeah. And then you can button that up over there. But let's take a quick look at the sculpt of the pistol. It's rather basic looking. I think we've gotten this one with the governor already. Like in the same series we got a governor figure that had the same pistol, just painted differently. This is black with a sort of silverish wash over it, and then let's stick that in her holster since she's never going to use that again. There you go. And now, let's take a look at the paint of the figure itself, as well as, there's the rifle, it looks real nice. It's got wood grain on it. And then the belt part here is kind of stretchy, but I have a feeling like it'll break off, because it has broken off on a few of my figures already. And now here she is. It's got a nice sculpted shirt, looks very wrinkly and realistic, sits on her well. And then it's painted very nicely. It has a like white paint with a wash over it. Then her pants are just basically brown with some black wash thrown on. Her boots are really nicely sculpted. It's got the pants tucked into there. Looks rather natural as well. And then of course she has the old articulation, so that'll be something when we get to the posing and the articulation. But the rest of the paint is just like her arms are painted, skin tone, her face is painted rather well. I've seen some people who have not very good face paints, but this one looks like the girl. Is she, let me think, what's the actress's name? I'm not even going to take a try, I'll probably get it wrong. So, Andrea. But yeah, nice hair. She's got dirty blonde hair. It's black wash put into there, or maybe just painted brown and then blonde painted over that with a dry brush, but whatever. Big blue eyes that you can see. And then that's basically it for all that. Now let's move on to articulation. Also, there's no sculpt at the bottom of the feet except for some details on the figure. Okay, articulation. Her arms can move up to not quite a 90 degree angle bend or a right angle at all. That doesn't look right. But it can do a full 360 spin at the shoulder or elbow there. And then elbow can do a full 360 spin. Elbow can move down and move up to about 90 degrees. Now the wrist has one articulation point, which is rare because nowadays all of them have two different points of spins there. This one only has one spin. And then it can move forward and backward, and then can do the dice roll, scratch it wall pose. There you go. Other arm has basically the same, except for a different sculpted hand, which moves about the same, just maybe a slight bit more because, yeah. Yeah, I'd say she could look like she's more broken up on this side. Okay, now no waist articulation. Her head can do a full 360. Can look back or up quite a bit, not restricted too much by her hair. And then she can look down quite a bit. She also has head pivot. And then her legs do, at the hips, not much articulation. You can kick forward a bit. If you push it, she can move quite a bit there. Yeah, see, she can actually kick, like, pretty much, but you have to spin the leg when you do that. And then it makes this feel like it's going to pop off. And then other leg can do just about the same amount. Nah, not quite. Slightly less. Then the knees can bend to a 90 degree angle. The other knee seems to be bending a little more though. See this one? This one looks like it wants to bend more. Yeah. And then the ankles have like a ball joint, so it can do ankle pivot, which is nice for posing in some sort of splits pose or wide stance. Then it can also rock forward and backward, and pretty much any way that you'd want it in that position. Yeah, full 360 spin as well on both sides. Same on both sides. So, articulation-wise, she's not too horrible, but can she sit down? Darn camera post, move back. Okay. Let's pull her together here. Can she do the sit down? Trying to move her legs in the most sit down position that I can, and let's see. Well, considering that Series 8 still can't sit down all that well, I think she does a fair job. So, articulation-wise, she's about on par with some of the figures nowadays. Yeah, not bad. So, of all the female figures, I would not recommend her the most, but she comes probably second, right next to the Maggie figure that came out. The Carol figures, they're really nice, but they lack some good paint on their faces. And like the Poopy version, it's not very... just the fact that I had to call it Poopy version tells you that I don't think much of it, but if you paint it right, it can look like Carol again, like that. There, I think that looks good. But anyway, this figure is not bad. I would give it a recommendation if you're a fan of the character, or if you're not a fan of the character, don't even bother, because her figure is not all that exceptional. She can't hold her own accessories, still has the limited articulation, and, I mean, yeah. But if you're a fan, definitely get her. So, that's my review. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Peace.